It's part of our constitutional right to challenge whatever result you're not comfortable with. But what makes this one different? It looks like everybody is having an opinion in respect to this particular election, the fallout of it. Even members of the APC are saying they don't even know what is going on. Mr. Adeyemi, talk to us on this first, then before we look at the moral and the legal compass of this conversation.
As you have rightly said, I think it's not only constitutional for people to challenge the outcome of the election. It's part of the process. Election process. The judiciary, I think, has settled all grievances. And we know that there have been grievances after this particular election. And because of the grievances, I think we have been seeing election. So when they won election in 1999, and the matter got to the Supreme Court. And we know to the extent then that they could get the matter. And we all knew how the matter ended. So, but since that time, we had been having people challenging the outcome of election. The election that brought him in was not that tied, not good enough. And assured Nigerians of looking into the matter, says in Nigeria. By and large, I've not seen any presidential election in this country that did not end at the Supreme Court. But once, I think we always encourage people to channel their grievances through that. A lot of people were much involved in this matter now because of the social media. Before you can talk within the corner of your room, before nobody will hear you. A tweet from you now, I just put something on the Facebook. I think it might be reverberating all over the world. So it makes the testing election. And the people have been going to the Supreme Court. So this, to us, is a normal thing, is a normal process.
Let's try to avoid conversation around moral that brings up issue of morality. I've always felt it's a very, very, very light and fragile line of conversation. I always try to avoid it because it's easy for you to be a moral judge. It's easy for you to be perceived outside the shores of this country. If you present the green passports, you are almost treated like a third-class citizen. You are searched differently. The protocol at which they allow you to come into these countries are absolutely different point of view. How deep is this whole conversation cutting the respect, the image, the public relations, perception that people have about the country? I mean, we'd always say that potentially we have the power to be the largest economy in Africa. Over the legitimacy of the election of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we conducted this election on the 25th of February. And we're almost done. The year is almost over. And it looks like every single day there's a twist to the point that name of wanting to confirm the authenticity of the certificate of Mr. President. From the moral point of view, Mr. Adeyemi, how badly hit is the Nigerian's image on this one?
Positive things. Not the kind of scenario we find ourselves. As you have said, I think travel to any part of the world wants to carry aside, even when others are just passing the immigration process and going without being disturbed. But once to see you with that green passport, please step aside. They will conduct extra search on you today. He has lived, worked, studied, and you can see how they embarrassed him. Not only him, many people, I think, have been embarrassed like that on a daily basis, simply because in the international community, they begin to see Nigerians do not have integrity. And when people don't see you of having integrity, so their relationship with you, they will always circumspect of everything they are doing with you, because they don't know even when you say good morning to them. At least they will just go and somewhere and look at the sky if truly you are speaking the truth. Getting, especially from Nigeria, from our leaders. Our leaders, I think I'll be conscious of whatever they are doing and impact on the image of this country. What I'm talking about is that, the whole saga about this Tinubu matter, right? I think if a whole university about Chicago State University, right, that has now become what everybody is discussing all over the world, even not for good reason, but for a very bad reason. So what I'm saying is that, and the whole truth, and whatever you have done, that's what we are going to meet there. If you have done that, and by now, I think people were not getting what you are getting there, at least they will have, when it comes to the issue of his certificate, We don't know when he's speaking, what is right, what is wrong. So, but Nigeria should have a president they should trust. The whole world is what quiet, and they allow. And when you refuse to say the truth,
anything
people,
that flies, people will take it.
Everything will continue to fly. And this era of social media, even speak the truth, people will still twist it.
Not
people,
talk of.
People will still edit it, right? Those are fishing expedition. But yes, they were going on fishing expedition, as I've said. But what about the implication of the utterances coming out from Nigerians against Nigeria? If there's somebody that didn't know much about Nigeria, but they're just saying, I want to talk about Nigeria, I want to know about thousands with issues that will not attract anybody to say it's coming to Murtala Muhammed, even to fly a plane on social media about Nigeria. Well, no, that's not good enough. This is a country that wants investors. This is a country that wants other people to come here and invest. This is a country that wants its citizens to be respected. Understand, has everything to lose when it comes to morality, right? When it comes to integrity, and when it comes to, when it comes to, okay, can we things that's not straight about your early ages? What stops everybody? I was a street boy, but I say brilliant. This is how my journey looks like. Yeah, this is my journey has been. But as the treasurer of Mobile,
that's a big deal.
If somebody, I think he's a chartered accountant in the FCA, right? He had worked in accounting firms, do you understand? And he performed there. And the Mobile is not a Nigerian thing to live. When he was living, they were saying, no, they converted
to
his
consultants.
Retirement to first and foremost, I think if you have some rough past, I think everybody almost everybody enjoys special grace of God, right? Some people were dollars when they were in primary or secondary school, but today they have become professor. I was reading a story of one professor. He was once a cobbler. He could talk of his past, how rough it was. Some people had done many things before they had their Damascus experience. Yes, you're rough. Maybe if your boyhood days had been rough, but you had a Damascus experience at one point in time. Why come out clean, tell Nigeria negatively on the image of the country? But if you permit me to go further,
the law does not work with assumptions that we have in our heads or emotions that we have running through our minds and all of that. The law is in black and white. It is raised this issue in 1999 all through the time, but I mean all of the period it went off like that. If this issue had come up before the election, would it have changed to the public right now? To the point that even the Chicago State University said that the authenticity of the diploma certificate President Bola Ahmed Tinubu claimed to have obtained from the Chicago State University. Let me move through. Okay, in the latest development, the top official of CSU, Mr. Carl Westerberg, on Tuesday said under oath that if all of these information had come up before the election, would it have in any way whatsoever changed the dynamics of what we have right now?
It may and it may not, right? But if you look at that document, I don't want to look just what he said on hold, but he admitted that he attended that school.
Yes, it was that. Yes,
good.
They released the transcripts. They released the yearbook.
When the matter was investigated between 2002, between 2000 up to 2006, right? Are we sure most of these documents were not with the lawyers and the people that investigated the matter at that time? Are we sure they are not? Because it wasn't an internet age then. Not claim that it has happened or not, but the issue was also thoroughly investigated to the extent that I think the police, Nigeria police, had to send somebody to go and investigate the matter. I think maybe it was the AIG status at that time leading the team of investigators. Findings found at the part of the judgment made by the justice of the Supreme Court at that time. I wouldn't know, right? But what I'm saying that it wasn't the first time we are raising this issue. But had it been the extent of this controversy got to this level, it might have affected been Atiku and his team were settled enough.
They will have seen this lacuna.
The election. Because if you look at the man that aggressive, the structure that brought Tinubu were so strong and at the same time light. If 28 governors supported a candidate election, and 28 governors out of 36 supporting him, even from the PDP, don't see 𝗬𝗂𝗁 performing. They use their heavyweight to get that result, right? Ordinarily, if you have 28 governors with their might, with their resources,
the closest person should not even have any reason to challenge the results.
There's nothing for stopping them from having up to 60 something and 40%. So he's ruling with minority votes. If you are looking at the number of total votes that voted in that election that brought him, do you know what I'm saying? So, but the point I'm making is that Adeyemi, Atiku lawyers had been that painstaking before the election and go to candidate Tinubu there and run away from voting for him. But you know, that's what we are telling people. Nowadays, smart people get election consultants. And election consultants, I'm not talking are there, psychologists are there, you know, they form a team of election consultants. And they look at all the scenarios. You know what? If you are fighting an opponent, now, you are not relying only on your strength. You must do a strong SWOT analysis on your opposition and know where to get him. It might be the best candidate. We are talking of battle, we are talking of warfare. It might be the best, but you have to go and look at his weakness. I think where you think, you can give a sliding tackle and get him off the track. Legitimately. Please. Without knowing that the same crowd they saw yesterday,
he's the one that will be there for another person tomorrow.
They forgot that one. Even you see some people now, you want to go and campaign in Lagos. Then you are bringing people from Ibadan,
from Ogun State,
100 buses from Ogun State, 100 buses from Oyo State, 100 from Ondo State, and you say you have a crowd. Which crowd? Of the same people, right? So, but election consultants will not be carried away by all this noise, but will look at your own strengths and weaknesses, what his chances. And by that time, the election consultants have told him that if you haven't cleared out about this Chicago matter, no, you have to play it up. Even if you didn't win a legal battle there, win a moral battle. And once you win a moral battle, my brother, everything about elections is about perception. But people should know how to approach election. Adeyemi Atiku guys have done most of these things before election. Haba. But even after winning election, right? When you are front, but maybe that one will lead us to at least the other question.
Yes, thank you very much. I just wanted us to sort out the whole moral points, the moral side of the conversation. Like I said, the law is what the law is. At the moment, is losing the moral battle in respect to how he's being perceived as an individual first, and how the country is being perceived under him as the president.
Sure.
And thirdly, how Nigerians are being perceived under him as the citizens on the moral point of view. But let's look at it from the legal point of view, which is the most static. The law is what the law is. The letters are there for everybody to see. There are references in cases. If he has failed, or if he's failing the moral point of this conversation, Mr. Adeyemi, what happens to the legal point of it?
Good. You know, I think this is another kettle of fish, and in which we have to be very careful in our analysis. And I must admit that I am not a lawyer. I'm a political scientist, right? But bring 4 or 5 lawyers here to this studio to argue this matter. Their opinion certainly not going to be the same. So we can hide. When it comes to legal matter, it has nothing to do with emotion. It has nothing to do with morality. It has nothing to do with values. It has nothing to do with public opinion. It's about rules, it's about laws, it's about evidence, it's about precedents, it's about what we have agreed initially to do. Now, but what are the one we are pleading for? Right. The first matter, which I'm sure of, is that Tinubu lawyers will fight tooth and nail to ensure in court, because they will tell you Supreme Court is not a court where you are filing any evidence. They can begin to cite on the exceptional case or whatever. They will tell you there's nothing exceptional in this matter, because you had the opportunity to front load all your evidence we are here to review. But how that one, how they underestimate them? Number one, they are pleading. First and foremost was that Tinubu did not attend. Tinubu is a female, and what we are talking here is a male. Therefore, matter. Good. The registrar of the court of this university, who was also a lawyer, under oath, said they had sufficient proof that Tinubu attended the university. Number one. Number two is that Tinubu a male or female?
He said he's a male.
He said he's a male. Good. That was, Tinubu did not, according to their pleading, Tinubu did not attend Chicago University. And if they found any name,
he's a female.
He's a female. So based on this, any certificate presented from that school is what? Is forged. Now that the man said, did he graduate or not graduate? Nobody is pleading for that one. Did the university issue him a certificate at all? It's not. But hear what the man is saying there. That after giving out the diploma certificate, all our big guys say you are going to Harvard, I'm going to Harvard, I'm a Harvard graduate, so we know that because they did it 2 or 3 weeks, such certificate. But even if lost or anything happened to it, so you only go to the vendors and reprint.
That means a third party can issue.
A third party can issue it. That is the English and American standard, not British. You have to be a British school, another thing. But that is, you can go and print your checkbook, and the bank will accept it. Once it can be confirmed that it's from you. But can you do that in Nigeria? That you go and print your own checkbook, not what was printed. Talking of different environments. So on that ground, other issues of challenging the whether it's fake or forged, it is coming under another thing. I don't know how they will bring that one in. Just I'm a lawyer, but the man had enough lawyer who affect the case. Whether he forged those documents, whether he attended school, did not graduate, whether he just passed through the school, whether he just did some school when you were in school. Some people will never be a student of our school, but you see them, they are the one that will, at least they make so much noise on campus, and they were never registered in school. they will never write. They will
are non-academic students.
Yes. Do you get my point? So all those things will be looked into. But at the same time, they had 6 registrars before him, but he was able to, I think he was able to come out clean and clear. I said, if Tinubu has anything hidden on that area, let him come out. After all, the school said he attended,
and he's male,
and he's a male, not a female, right? But if there's anything hidden, there's nothing stopping him, and it's from coming out and tell Nigerians. But instead of embarrassing ourselves, but to me, it's difficult for us to begin to say this is what judges, and how these are judges will accept the matter. If you can't sit down here and say no, we invoke doctrine of necessity. I'm not a lawyer, sorry. Do you understand? But when they say they are invoking the doctrine of necessity,
that means the rules can be bent a little
to
accommodate the circumstances.
Yes, not only circumstances, but because they said this judgment was predicated, Akinyode was predicated on this certificate, and they are emphasizing the point they made by bringing in, do you understand, more facts. They're not pleading new facts. They're not saying anything new. But because of their judgment, we have no reason to go and show you that this how far we have gone. Verdict.
My own worry at this point is, how long would this drag? How long are we going to continue to bring all of these to the table? Now I'm coming. This is where I'm going to. The president said he's going to hit the ground subsidy, signed a couple of bills into law, the state electricity generation bill, the student loan, some tax vacation, all of these incentives just to cushion the effect of the subsidy removal. How much of a distraction do you think all of these is to the president? The Nigerian Foreign Ministry said a statement yesterday. I don't know how the public interpreted that statement, that they don't have time for all these shenanigans that the people are bringing up on board. But hey, that is supposed to be the ministry that protect especially the interest of the country in diaspora, including Nigerians in any country whatsoever. But they are saying that they are not interested in none of these shenanigans. But the name of the country is being constantly dragged in the mud. How long can we continue to take this?
Let me tell you the truth. If you are a diplomat, that's what you say.
That's diplomacy in action.
Because by admitting there's an issue there, you are aggravating the matter. You are bringing it to the front burner for international people to discuss it. But if you tell them, my brother, there's no issue there, simply because those people are on fishing expedition. What we are doing is political. Politicians can bring any frivolous allegation against their position. It's allowed. Let the court settle that. So for him, the matter have said that, he has downplayed it. He has at least downgraded the impact of whatever that conversation will have been on the country. Just a waste of non-issue in this. So without saying non-issue in this, some people respect that opinion. That once the man says non-issue, and that's the president to say all these things are non-issue. They are distractions which did not allow them to take them losing their focus. Yes, that's what they will tell you. But it's passing through a process never expected would degenerate into this kind of a crisis. As we are all means, that's why you have a court case hanging on your neck. I think in solving problems, he must have been spending hours with some psychologists, with some sympathizers, with some people that will always just come and tell him, guys, his lawyers must be burning candles and advising every second. Do you understand? Because if the matter goes otherwise, it could be a big shame to him, not only him, to the whole country and to the thousands of his cronies. Right? So he is bothered, and he ought to be bothered, and he must affect by now. With the tempo he started the administration, the issue of salary and for the labor are supposed to have been sorted out. Now. The issue of whether we are bringing vehicles for palliative and kind of thing, how many years will it take to start bringing in vehicles? Even if you are bringing 5 million vehicles out there, arriving, whether CNG or GNC or whatever, I think the money shows the day. Let Nigeria begin to feel, even your palliatives you are talking about, even at federal level, how far? 3 months after, you have been getting money, so more money is coming to the federal government at time to at least attend to some of these issues. So it's affecting governance. No doubt about that. But by and large, we expect the matter will continue less than a couple of months. But immediately the Supreme Court judgment give the verdict, I think, which must happen in the next 2 or 3 months at most. Do you understand? My brother, the whole thing will fizzle away.
Okay, and now before we leave this particular conversation, what at the end of all of this, what are we going to learn from this? Now, the whole issue around how the emergence of the candidate of these political parties is always something that we should bring back to the front burner. The old delegate conversation where less than 2,000 or 3,000 people will choose the person that 100 million people will come and vote for. I mean, the PDP, for instance, or the APC, for instance, all of them had their primaries, and delegates picked the candidate that Nigerians would come and vote for. Mr. Muyiwa Adeyemi, I asked the question the other time. If this issue had been thoroughly dealt with before the election, what does this tell us about how we run background check on the people we bring forward for political offices? Because the advantage is very clear. The moment you get into office, it becomes almost impossible to get you out of office, especially if you're a president. I think the closest we've seen to that is 2015, where Goodluck Jonathan was defeated. It was not like Buhari got his mandate. Since 1999 till now, nobody had gotten any mandate from the court. Obasanjo got his own. He finished his 8 years. Yar'Adua did his 2 years. Jonathan finished the 4 years, did another 2 years, did another 4 years. Buhari did his own. Now we're back here. What would be our takeaway from all of these drama ahead of the next elections?
You know, I think let's address the institution as it were. I think the constitution allow for individual or private candidates that will not pass through the bogus process of party politicians. Good Nigerians will have been able to have choice in electing somebody clear that doesn't have to be, I think, have a one of them before we can get a right person. And let me quickly say it again. The system we are running in this country does not allow for somebody with a very clean heart and hand to get to the level of the presidency. Trying to study the gentle Christian Reverend Father in Benue State, that's the governor of that state. I think I'm trying to study the man. Do you understand? And I used to say, electing a party candidate at any level, it's not a conclave of the cardinals. No, it's not. It's far from it. Where you have the cardinals, at least they are saints. You know, these are holy people. But don't understand that they will, at least, will lock themselves in a room. And a lot of you will be waiting for the
smoke.
For the smoke and from chimney. And they, God, no. So what I'm saying is that the structure as it is now does not allow for a clean man. When I say a clean man, please, I mean it for every sense of responsibility. That if you check his body, if you check his cupboard, if you check, I think everywhere about him, do you understand? You find everything clean and clear. The system has not been able to throw one up for us. So if the system has not done that, but with the issue of computerization, but with the issue of social media, I'm sure maybe those people are now coming up to contest election will now begin at least to look at themselves. I've seen many people in the past, right, that they didn't go to school at all and just claiming all this sort of whatever, and they won election to federal House of Reps, to State Assembly. They don't start with no certificate, right? They don't start. They go to secondary school. Maybe they just drop out at primary school, you know, doing area boys around, and they became the toast of a godfather who sent them to the House of Assembly just with any fake, because there were no process of checking those things, right? I'm telling you, if you see the passports of people travel abroad in the olden days, they don't look into those matters. We know what happened in the old _Wales now. You understand? We don't want to go into all those matters now, right? But now, with the issue of computerization, with the issue of this IT age, things are beginning to change. That whoever wants to go into that office will know that, well, if you have not joined politics, you may not know if your mother had boyfriend before he met your father.
Just pick nomination form first.
Then you pick nomination with the information age, things are likely to change. But in our system, I'm saying something that until the people take ownership of governance, of government, what I mean by that, a choice there, right? We have seen many people elsewhere that they see Mr. Opeyemi as a nice person, that he has done so in his community. When he was a student, NYSC, he did well for the people. When he was in the area he was living, he made his environment, he brought people together to achieve something meaningful for society. Elsewhere, people would throw such a person forward. So now, gentleman, you have to go and contest for a chairman of local government. This man, you have to go and contest for a governor. And the community will go around and be campaigning for him. We are bringing out Mr. Opeyemi because of he did this. When we were serving also, he did also. They will join the crusade. So people that maybe we went to secondary school together say, oh, it's true. When we were in the secondary school, that's what, and they will finance
your campaign.
They finance the campaign. They will, if you go and campaign their neighborhood, they will be the one to clothe you. They will be the one to give you food. Do you understand? Because they were not expecting anything from you apart from good governance. And if you are able to win the election, you have no choice than to give these people good governance, because they are your boss. They were the one that employed you. Can we say in all honesty that we are the one that employed these people we put in the power now? So people know how much they collected from them before they can win nomination alone to come and serve 𝗬𝗀𝗁𝗏 and 𝗬𝗪𝗁 then, right? You understand? 100 million to pick forms. So what I'm saying is that mercantilism has been the rule of the game. The system has not allowed us, what we are running, to bring forth good people with, I think, with a clean background, at least to come on top of this game. So until we Nigerians begin to look at that one, be much more involved in the process, we may not. Please, the system we have now, the last election we have more than 17 parties that are they not all in the same political class? Look at their manifesto, which one is different from the other? Obi himself said that he was going to remove subsidy on the day one. Even then, that he read philosophy with your class, but he didn't submit it. Then, what happened to that? I can submit my certificate in my university. I was a PRO with Student Union when I was on my undergraduate, and my mates at University of Lagos, when I did my masters, we still know ourselves, not only having certificates, right? So I would like, what is investigating all this matter? I had it, I read for it.
It's my name that is on it.
It's my name that's on it. No error. No, there was no clerical error of putting F there. When has not allowed credible people to get to the top of this game. So we are having majority of people of doubting and doubtful character integrity to be there. We have many professors before that contested. It was this country that people like 𝗪𝗵𝗁 contested. Did they vote for him? It was this country that people like 𝗬𝗪𝗁𝗏 contested. Did they vote for him? Even this last election, we had some people, small names, but with something, we have something upstairs. Did they vote for them? Is this country, is the last election that Professor 𝗪𝗁 wanted to contest? Did he get support? But if you had decided to vote for the highest bidders, in that president will be told Obiano that he sponsored 5 billion naira, he wanted it back. Why did he get 5 billion? And you know Tinubu has been a capone ever since.
Thank you very much, Mr. Muyiwa Adeyemi. On the turn of 5 o'clock, we need to take the headline. It's just about 2 minutes. Then we'll come back that Governor Hope Uzodinma is promising the Imo youths in his election campaign. We'll put it in line of, one of the lead stories of the headlines of Guardian newspaper today says, crisis looms in varsities over mass exodus of lecturers. We look into that also. 2 weeks ago, I had a lecturer friend of mine join me on the show. He's the dean of faculty, he's the HOD of history department from Akinyode University. And we talked about this conversation majorly about the fact that how long would Nigerian lecturers stay in this space with what they are confined in terms of what they earn. The whole graphics is right in front of me when we take the headline news. But again, whatever happens going forward, the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has not started well. Morally, it has not started well. The way Nigerians have seen up, the NLC strike was supposed to start on Tuesday, and then, the window probably gave the federal government enough time to negotiate and bring offers to the table. But how much do you think the leaders and Nigerians trust both the federal government and the NLC? Still here, and you're live on Mainland 98.3 FM. This is the Situation Room.